Kailyn Lowry says she agreed to film her life for Teen Mom out of pure desperation. In the ever-evolving landscape of reality television, few stories have resonated as deeply or as controversially as that of Kailyn Lowry. Best known for her appearances on and its spin-offs, Kailyn's journey has been one of raw emotion, public scrutiny, and personal transformation. Over the years, she has become a symbol of both the pitfalls and possibilities of reality TV fame, especially for young women thrust into the spotlight during some of the most vulnerable moments of their lives. In recent interviews and public statements, Kailyn has opened up about her decision to join, revealing that it was not ambition or a desire for stardom that led her to sign on, but rather what she describes as pure desperation. This admission offers a powerful insight into the mindset of a teenage mother navigating poverty, isolation, and uncertainty, and how the allure of financial stability can shape life-altering decisions. When Kailyn first appeared on MTV's 16 and Pregnant in 2010, she was just 18 years old and pregnant with her first son, Isaiah. Her story was far from unique. Millions of young women across America face unplanned pregnancies each year, but what set Kailyn apart was her willingness to share her experience on national television. At the time, the show was still relatively new, and while it had already sparked controversy, it also offered a platform for young mothers to speak candidly about their struggles and triumphs. Kailyn's transition from 16 and Pregnant came shortly after the birth of her son. It was at this point that she made the conscious choice to continue filming her life for the broader audience of. In hindsight, she has described this decision as being driven more by necessity than by desire. "I agreed to film my life out of pure desperation," she said in a candid interview. "I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. I didn't know if we were going to have a roof over our heads." At the time, Kailyn was living with her then-boyfriend, Chad Johnson, in Pennsylvania. The couple faced significant challenges: financial instability, relationship strain, and the emotional toll of raising a child before either of them was truly ready. For Kailyn, the offer to be on came with a financial stipend that provided immediate relief. It wasn't fame she sought, but rather the opportunity to provide for her newborn son. "I was scared," she later admitted, "but I was even more scared of failing as a mom. If doing this show meant I could buy diapers and formula, then I was willing to do it." While the financial benefits were undeniable, Kailyn quickly realized that appearing on a reality show would come with consequences far beyond what she had anticipated. Overnight, her life became public property. Every decision, every argument, every moment of weakness or strength was scrutinized by viewers, critics, and media outlets alike. The cameras followed her through some of the most difficult chapters of her life, including her rocky relationship with Chad, the birth of her second son, Aiden, and eventually their separation. What began as a way to secure basic necessities soon evolved into a full-time job. Between filming schedules, interviews, and appearances, Kailyn found herself constantly performing, not just for the camera, but for an audience that had strong opinions about how she should live her life. The pressure was immense. She faced constant criticism online, often from people who judged her parenting style, her romantic choices, and even her appearance. The emotional toll was heavy, and there were times when Kailyn considered walking away from it all. "I never wanted to be famous," she said. "I just wanted to survive. But once you start, it's hard to stop. You get used to having money. You get used to people knowing your name. And then you start wondering, who am I without this?" Through it all, Kailyn remained fiercely committed to her children. Even as her personal life played out on screen, she consistently emphasized that her primary focus was providing a stable, loving home for Isaiah and Aiden. However, the very nature of reality TV made that goal complicated. The more dramatic the storyline, the more compelling the content, and producers were keenly aware of which narratives would keep audiences engaged, This dynamic often placed Kailyn in uncomfortable positions. She was encouraged to air personal grievances, revisit painful memories, and sometimes even stage conflicts for the sake of entertainment value. While she did her best to maintain authenticity, she also learned that the line between real life and scripted drama could easily blur. "I've had to make peace with the fact that not everything people saw was entirely real," she shared. "There were times when I felt like I had to perform a version of myself that wasn't entirely true. But I also know that I tried my best to stay honest, especially when it came to my kids." Despite the challenges, Kailyn's portrayal of motherhood resonated with many viewers. Young mothers watching the show often saw themselves reflected in her struggles, balancing school, work, relationships, and childcare. In that sense, Kailyn became more than just a TV personality. She became a relatable figure for a generation of women facing similar circumstances. As the seasons passed and Kailyn grew older, so too did her perspective on her time in the spotlight. By the time she joined, she had matured significantly, both emotionally and personally. She had also begun to take control of her narrative, using her platform not only to share her own experiences, but to advocate for other young parents. Over the years, Kailyn has spoken openly about her mental health struggles, including anxiety, depression, and postpartum issues. She has also addressed past mistakes, including substance abuse and toxic relationships, with honesty and vulnerability. These conversations have helped humanize her in the eyes of many fans, transforming her from a tabloid fixture into a voice of resilience and recovery. One of the most pivotal moments in Kailyn's journey came when she decided to step away from the franchise altogether. After nearly a decade in front of the cameras, she chose to prioritize her well-being and the privacy of her family. It was a bold move, one that meant giving up a steady income and stepping back from the public eye, but it was also a necessary one. "I needed to reclaim my life," she explained. "For so long, I felt like I belonged to everyone else, the network, the fans, the headlines. But I'm more than just a reality TV mom. I'm a person with dreams, goals, and healing to do." Since leaving the show, Kailyn has focused on rebuilding her life on her own terms. She has pursued writing, entrepreneurship, and advocacy work, using her voice to support causes close to her heart. She has also continued to raise her sons, now teenagers, with the same fierce love and determination that has always defined her. Looking back on her time on, Kailyn doesn't regret the path she took, even though it was born out of desperation. She sees her journey as one of survival, growth, and ultimately empowerment. "I don't think I would be the woman I am today without those experiences," she said. "They were hard, they were messy, but they taught me strength. They taught me how to stand up for myself. And they taught me that no matter how bad things get, you can always rebuild." Her story serves as a reminder of the complex realities faced by young mothers, especially those who find themselves in financially precarious situations. While reality TV offered Kailyn a lifeline at a critical moment in her life, it also exposed her to levels of judgment and scrutiny that few are prepared for. Yet through it all, she endured, and in doing so, she became a symbol of perseverance for countless others who have struggled to make ends meet, navigate parenthood, and find their voice in a world that often tries to silence them. Today, Kailyn Lowry is no longer just she is a survivor, a mother, an author, a businesswoman, and a beacon of hope for anyone who has ever felt trapped by circumstance. Her journey reminds us that desperation can lead to unexpected opportunities, and that from the darkest moments, the strongest transformations can emerge. Kailyn Lowry's decision to film her life grow out of pure desperation was a defining chapter in her life, one that shaped her identity, challenged her resilience, and ultimately led to her growth. While the road was anything but easy, her story stands as a testament to the power of perseverance, the importance of self-reflection, and the enduring strength of a mother's love. In a world quick to judge, Kailyn has proven that redemption is possible, that healing is real, and that no one is defined solely by their past. And perhaps most importantly, she has shown that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is keep going, even when the whole world is watching.